Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another brand new video. This episode, we're going to talk about Donald Trump and his antics, Elon Musk, and how Donald Trump managed to get his country, the United States, to have three, not one, not two, but three entire countries to tariff him. Let's all applaud him. What a smart individual. I'm sure he has some grand plan, just as he did have a grand plan to acquire Greenland in his first election and now in his second term. So kudos to you. Here's a supporter of Donald Trump, Mr. Carlos Hernandez, DJ Los, Scary Hours Podcast on YouTube. Shout out to him. He is joining me here today. We're going to discuss this. We're not going to battle. We're going to talk about it like gentlemen. So take it off, my friend. What do you got to say about this?
Yeah, so I just would like to say hello to my fellow countrymen here, Shiva, Kailash, Shambho, whose country soon is going to be part of the United States.
Okay.
We're going to.
And so, yeah, he just gave the introduction a little bit of spin. We're going to call it the, we just entered the spin zone, where basically he took everything that Trump is doing, which is amazing, and somehow managed to make it sound bad. So we're going to correct that. We're going to get into it.
Okay. So what do you think needs to be corrected? What sounds bad? Yeah, let me reiterate. Donald Trump announced 25% tariff on Canada, the country that I live in. I'm in Canada. You see my Canadian flag behind me. Canada will never become the 51st state, maybe in years or decades, but not anytime soon. And I think Donald Trump is quite a big buffoon for doing this. And the Americans are going to pay for it also. Lots of people are going to lose their jobs, maybe houses, no electricity, higher prices on food. It's not good for both countries. So I don't know what Mr. Trump is doing.
So yeah, the first glaring fact that I would like to point out that you put a little spin on is the fact that you said he managed to get three countries to tariff us. Whoa. Let me guess, would it happen to be the three countries that we put tariffs on first?
Yes, that's exactly right. That's correct.
Well, okay. Well, then isn't that how a tariff war goes?
I guess so. Yes, but
So it's to be expected. And the funny thing about this, though, is that this is something that Trump actually rehearsed this already. If you noticed, maybe a couple of weeks ago, maybe like a month ago or so, he already put a 10% tariff on all the same three countries. And guess what happened?
What happened?
Immediately, I don't even think a day went by, and Canada and Mexico caved immediately to his demands. And so I think what's going on basically here is Trump is saying, if I could make them cave with a 10% tariff, I wonder what they would do for a 20%.
Yeah, it sounds reasonable, logical. And when he first announced the tariffs, 10% tariff, I thought, okay, well, the little drugs that are flowing into the country, I guess that's bad. But I didn't know Canada was such a huge supporter of this drug going into the border. And I thought that the border between the United States and Canada is pretty secure. And then I learned the facts. You know what the fact is? Less than 1%, not even 1%, less than 1% of this little narcotic is going into the United States. So Donald Trump just uses a little spoof or whatever he's planning, whatever he wants to do.
Listen, buddy.
This is not it.
Listen. Let's not. I'm not gonna pull any punches here, okay? You're gonna become the 51st state of our country, okay?
That is funny.
This isn't about. Joke. This isn't about what's coming in and what's coming out. None of that. Okay, this is about you guys are going to become. You guys really, these tariffs. You're like, oh, you're not going to have electricity. But listen, bro, that's what's happening. He's taking it there. He's applying pressure. You're going to feel the pain. We're going to feel the pain. We're all going to feel the pain. And he's just going to see. Let's see who gives up first.
All right. What a smart guy. Let's apply economic pain. People are going to suffer. Not food banks are going to be more in demand. Because why? Because he wants to. I don't know. That's not going to happen. It's not
Well,
going to
no.
happen. Just as it didn't happen with Greenland. It's not. Canada's not going to be part of the United States. It's just not going to happen.
No, it's actually not why he's doing it. The reason why he's doing it though is because, as always, the United States, due to previous presidents, has gotten us into unfair trade deals with other countries like Mexico, like Canada, like China, for example. Like another fun fact: did you guys know that Canada has like 120 or 160% tariff on American vehicles?
What do you mean by that? Explain.
Yeah, so Canada, right? You know how like right now you're complaining to the United States it's putting tariffs on you, on Canada. Canada, before any of this started, for years and years and years and years, has already had tariffs on the United States. Right? Many tariffs. They have tariffs on our eggs, on our milk, on our meat, on our metals, and many of them are way higher than the ones we're talking about. Like right now we're talking about a 20% tariff. The ones I'm talking about with Canada, they're like 70, 80, 100, 160, 200% tariffs on us. Right? But I'm pointing out specifically right now the car manufacturing business because usually when you put a tariff on something, it's so that you can protect the industry in your own country, right? Basically saying we basically are saying we don't want imported goods because we already make them here. And so we put a high tariff to have them imported.
Mm-hmm.
But the funny thing is Canada doesn't even make cars. They don't even have any car manufacturers, but for some reason they still tax our vehicles at 160 or 120%. And yet you guys want to sit here and complain about a little 20% tariff and make us out to be bad guys. Give me a break.
I know a lot of car manufacturers are in Canada currently, and I think first and foremost, I want to preface this by saying I'm not a political guy. I don't follow the news. I'm just starting to become knowledgeable of this, so I'm not some expert here. I'm just a beginner. Yet I know that lots of car manufacturers are in Canada for some reason. They're manufacturing cars here, and maybe Donald Trump wants to get cars to be manufactured in America again. But from what I've heard people saying, it's going to take years, if not decades, for all the infrastructure to be moved to the United States and properly established there. So
basically what it is like exactly what you said. Yes, there are cars being manufactured in Canada, but not by Canadian manufacturers is what I'm saying. They're being made by American, for example, manufacturers. Like GM is in Canada. And why does that happen? Why is GM inside of Canada? It's specifically because of the tariffs that you guys have on us. So that's part of what happens, and that's part of why we're doing it also. Because when you put a tariff on an import, the people have two options. Either they pay more, or that company just says, you know what, I'm just going to build a plant inside of your country. That way I don't have to import anything and keep the prices the same. So a tariff is a way of bringing manufacturing into your country. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Which is why it's hilarious to me, because you guys make it sound like you can have this big back and forth with us when you can't. Our GDP is way higher than yours. We subsidize you in many ways. We protect you militarily. And if you want to talk about one of the biggest things that people spend money on, vehicles, you guys don't make any. And if GM, imagine in this case, right now we start having this tariff war, and GM decides to say, you know what, we're an American company, we're going to actually leave. And now the only cars that you get are going to be 160% taxed. And I would love for you guys to tell me something that you guys do for us that would be as impactful.
Yeah, well, I was watching the Premier of Ontario speak today, Doug Ford, and he was saying that the province of Ontario alone is something like if it was a country, it would be the third largest consumer of American goods in the world, something along these lines. And what does Canada produce that the United States consumes? Well, we produce electricity, from what I understand, in the Ontario produces electricity and it feeds the state of New York. And he was threatening, the premier of Ontario was threatening that he may turn off the lights, which wouldn't be good. I want to continue on this, that the alcohol is being removed from stores, like all of the American-made alcohol is being removed from stores, so I thought that's great. Less people are going to get drunk. And also beef and chicken and eggs and animal products are also going to be largely or heavily tariffed, which is also great news for the animals. And on top of all this, as I'm watching this, I'm thinking, wow, chaos is ensuing. And I'm now paying attention for the first time. This is so interesting. And in some ways, everything that's happening always is for the greater good. So I'm very, very interested in to see what the game plan is here. So this is just the beginning.
Yeah. And I don't know if you heard, but I'm pretty sure you saw that we're cozying up to Mr. Putin. I don't know if you saw that part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what do you think?
And we're about to sign. I think it's amazing, and I think we're also about to sign a minerals deal, rare minerals deal with Ukraine, and possibly with Russia as well, and possibly a gas or oil deal with Russia. So all that's going to be taken off the table, and that's what Canada needs to realize is Donald is playing chess here with you guys. Okay, he put the 10% on. You guys folded like origami, and so he said, "Oh, okay, so they're weak. Let me put 20 and so see what happens." So they put 20, but on top of putting 20 and now starting a little battle with you guys, now he's creating new friendships outside of Canada to make us less dependent on Canada and giving us more leverage on Canada.
That may be true, but I have a question to pose for you. Do you think North Korea, the hermit country, is a country that you want to support, that deserves support, and its leadership to be strengthened and enhanced?
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that we should be enemies with anybody who doesn't agree with us?
No. Just because you don't agree with me doesn't mean that you're my enemy.
That's correct. This question that you're bringing up is exactly
But
how.
if you're committing human rights violations, you're actually my enemy. Yes.
This is the thing about it, though, is this is exactly, and we can't talk about this on the tube, but this is exactly how the WW1 and WW2 happened, because of this. Everybody goes around saying, "Oh, I'm the humanitarian that's going to go around saving the world," and then you cause a big problem. The fact of the matter is, there's countries that are communist and there's countries that are democratic. Are we supposed to go around changing everybody? Or battling them because they don't agree?
So look, I answered your question. Now you answer my question. Do you think we should support the leadership of North Korea, enhance them, fund them, make them stronger militarily, provide goods for them, make them more competent, etc., etc.?
Yeah, that's what. So I was answering you indirectly. So my answer to you is I would rather not be battling them.
Okay, that doesn't answer my question. It's just a simple yes or no. So why I was asking this question is because leading up to this, North Korea is a little bit similar to the big country that everything is made, including my iPhone. We all know. I want to be polite to that country because I want to go there next year.
What country?
Oh, where the Winnie the Pooh lives there. Everything is made in this country. My iPhone is made in that country.
Where Winnie the Pooh lives.
My iPhone is made in that. Look, North Korea, Russia, and China. These are the three coalition. The three people.
There you go.
So when Russia invaded Ukraine illegally for whatever reason, hey, let's just start killing.
Illegally.
Whatever.
Wait, hold on. You gotta be careful because YouTube doesn't want us to talk about the word.
So yeah, so things happened there. People started to get taken off the planet, and you know who supported Russia? The two kindest people in the planet. Everybody's hand became very clear: Russia and China and North Korea. So those are the people you gotta be wary of. I'm not sure you're supposed to.
So let's talk about that for a second. So you're bringing up the fact that Russia's the bad guys here.
Yes. Well, what do you think about Russia,
what do you think about the fact that we, or specifically NATO, broke a treaty that we had with them since 1992? I want to say.
Yeah.
With Gorbachev. What do you think about that?
Look, that's one treaty that was broken. There's multiple treaties that were broken. During the collapse of the Soviet Union, the nuclear weapons that Ukraine had, Russia took. And in exchange for that, some deal was made that we're also always gonna be protecting you, and nothing's gonna happen. You're gonna have sovereignty. So there are lots of deals that get taken off the planet. Yes, it's bad. Okay, but you know what's worse is sending troops to your country and taking your civilians out.
So the deal that we made was that we weren't gonna, the NATO wasn't gonna move 1 inch
Yeah. Yes.
towards Russia, and what they ended up doing was moving 1,000 miles towards Russia.
Yeah. Well,
And to make matters worse, on top of that, how can I put this nicely? Ukraine had an election, right, between two people, I think it was. One was pro-Russia, one was anti-Russia. The pro-Russia guy was democratically elected by the people of Ukraine. Still with me?
maybe.
And then somehow he ends up getting taken out, and the anti-Russian guy ends up getting put in. Zelensky.
Yeah. Oh, you mean like elections like Putin has every year? And he's so popular, he's had elections for 20 years, and somehow still he's in the best guy. Wow, that's a world record. Okay? And every single political leader that goes against him, so they have serious headaches and stomach aches. So no, that guy is not supposed to be supported.
That's one of those things. Look, it's for the people to figure it out, right? That's their country. We have the same problems here. We have, stuff. We have election problems. We got to figure it out. Imagine another country coming in and saying, you know what, we're gonna go and figure it out for you. It can't happen. Can't happen. And so that's what NATO's been doing. That's what the United States has been doing to Russia this whole time for years and years and years and years and years. And Putin just got tired of it, and he said, "You know what? Fine," because that little piece of land is like his last. That's where he can get flanked if stuff was to go down. And so he's like, "No, I'm gonna take it then," because I already got a weak side on what's that? Alaska.
Yeah.
I have a weak side on Ukraine. He's like, I'm not about to get flanked, so he's like, I'm taking that flank over.
Yeah, but Finland is part of NATO, and some other neighboring countries are part of NATO now, right on the border. So why this? Let me just.
Well, that's the point. Those countries weren't supposed to be. All the bordering ones weren't supposed to be there. Those were the ones that were part of the not to be there in the agreement, and we broke all them. So from his point of view, he's like, okay, I see what's going on here. And for some reason, every single time the Democrats get into office, they find some reason to beef with this guy. But for some reason, every time Trump's in office, it's no problems. Everything's fine.
Yeah, well,
they're best buddies.
Trump.
And all I want to know is what I want to know. What has Putin ever done to you or me specifically?
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad you asked that question because, truth be told, I'm from Ukraine. That's where I was born.
Oh.
I was born in Ukraine. I'm of Ukrainian heritage.
All of a sudden, Ukrainian.
I lived in Ukraine until I was 9 years of age. So I know what it's like to be there. I know what it's like to live in that country and to be around those people. My culture is Ukrainian by birth. So when I see people flying drones into armored vehicles and doing all these things on videos, it's horrendous on both sides. They're young kids, younger than me, 18, 19, 20. They're being sent to the front lines, and the military is behind them. If they refuse orders, they get taken off the planet again. So this is just wrong. It's fundamentally wrong.
Well, Ukraine is doing that now to their people.
Yeah, I mean, like...
forcing them into the front line.
Yeah, they don't have any good choices. I mean, are you not going to force people in the front line and get taken over? No, that's not a solution either. So in some ways, I understand. And what did Putin ever do to me? Well, he's conquering the land that I was born in, so I have a bias. I'm very sensitive about this.
It's funny you started off as a Canadian, and now you're Ukrainian now.
I'm both. I'm multinational. And also what's he's done to me, both of these leaders, the North Korean guy, the Winnie the Pooh, the next one over, next to North Korea.
How do you call them Winnie the Pooh did not live in... Are you saying Winnie the Pooh lived in China? Is that what you're saying?
Look, how can I explain this? There's a... Xi Jinping doesn't. Okay, I can't say this.
What are you so afraid of?
Because the AI is gonna pick it up, and okay, China is really good. They manufacture lots of. China's really, really good. China is so rich and healthy, and China is so vibrant and good. And I was just kidding. Everything I said. China is the best country in the world. Why? Because they have Kailash, very, very powerful. Similarly, somewhere on Mars, there's a country that's similar like that, and it has a leader that looks like Winnie the Pooh. Anyways, forget that. Mr. Putin, definitely, I'm never going to Russia for sure, as long as he's there. He, takes his opponents out of the picture. There's a very famous YouTuber that Alexander something. So many things happened to him. They poisoned his underwear, and mid-flight, he was having some sort of catastrophe, and they landed. And it's just so obvious that this guy poisons every single person that is against him. And it's like so blatant. How he went into power, Mr. Putin, is also very suspicious. This guy is one of the most evil human beings alive on planet Earth, and he should be stopped. And there's absolutely no excuse for Donald Trump, your president, Mr. President, to going and hugging him and kissing him and bowing down to his feet because he's afraid of him or whatever else he's doing. Like, no, buddy, just don't do that. Oil or resources, it doesn't matter. Okay, if there is gold and silver in North Korea's land and we're going to go fund the atrocities that guy is doing to his people, no thanks. Okay, I'd rather be a little bit poorer and afford less jewelry than to fund human rights violations. When it comes down to human rights violations, that's where I draw the line personally. I don't know about you, but when, anyways. Yeah, what do you guys say?
Not really, I could say a whole bunch, but I think it is what it is at this point. I think all the countries do commit human rights violations. I think we meddle in each other's elections. I think we all break treaties. Nobody's a good guy here.
Yeah.
But what Trump is trying to do is put America first, get ourselves out of other people's business, get our money back that we lost in this nonsense situation. And I support it.
Yeah.
And good luck to Canada, who's stuck in the middle trying to figure it out, what side they want to be on. I think you guys are making a mistake, and I think you're going to be the 51st state very soon.
I don't think we're going to be the 51st state, but I do agree with you largely that today, as I was thinking about this and watching this news, I'm realizing, yes, that's what he's doing. He's pulling everything back because he's trying to make his country first, and that's very respectful, admirable. That's what he should do. I think that's what's happening. So good on him. Good job. I don't think you should support Putin. That's just bad. And
like right now, look, let me make a prediction, for example. Right. I think part of what's going on is multifaceted. He has an issue with, all of our trade deals with China, Canada, Mexico. But he also, I think, has a huge problem with the European Union and NATO, basically, because, when you look at the chart, the United States vastly outpays from what any other country is paying inside of NATO. And so I think he wants to either renegotiate the terms, or I'm almost thinking that he wants to just get out of NATO. Because at this point, the Europeans they've just gone on the other side. Like, we're against each other at this point on where we stand. Like, Trump wants to end the war with Ukraine by basically, getting on Putin's good side, and Europe is all like, oh my God, he's sucking up and he's scared of him and and we're never going to do that. We're going to fight it out until everybody's gone. And that's ridiculous. And so the problem is that if Europe keeps doing what they are doing and we're stuck in NATO at the same time, eventually Russia could attack one of the NATO countries, and then we'd get dragged into it. So I think, honestly, Trump is opening up a third option by cozying up to Putin, by saying, you know what? Let's get some minerals deals going. Let's get some fuel deals going. And then I'll pull out of NATO because we won't need them. Because we won't need them for anything anymore. And then you guys can go do whatever you want. You guys can, fight it out or do whatever you want. And I think it's very intelligent.
yeah. Who knows what's going to happen? I hope this works out for the best. Pulling out of NATO is kind of scary because it's leading to NATO was formed because of the WWE, you know, the first WWE and the second one, or the second one, I think, largely. So it seems like we're tempted to repeat the same mistakes, and maybe that's going to happen, maybe not. Hopefully not. That would be horrendous. And who knows? I think it's more of a matter of principle, but I am very biased again because I was born in that land and I see what's happening. And it's like, if I was there right now, I would be forced to go and fight, which I don't want to do. And I'm sure the people on Russia's side, they don't want to fight either. I don't know if you know what's going on there, but they're forcing the immature soldiers to fight. And right behind them is the more experienced soldiers. And if someone decides to quit and turn back, they just...
Yeah, well, Ukraine is doing the same thing, though. How do you feel about them doing it?
It's
As a matter of
horrendous.
fact, how do you feel about Zelensky not holding elections?
Okay, yes, I'm glad we're bringing this up. At some extent, it's weird. Like, what? No elections? But the overall overview is that he's a president in wartime. It's not going to be burdened with, hey, time to, who are you going to elect next? Buddy, you got bigger problems. Freaking kids are dying.
Wait a minute,
Hospitals are being
'cause-
bombed.
But then, because the thing about it is, according to your argument, this would be, something that the people would want. You think that people would want. But then, if that was true, then he wouldn't be afraid to hold elections. What that tells me is that the people don't want it. They don't want what you're saying that they want. They actually they're probably okay with, giving up a little bit of land, a little bit of the minerals, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And they're probably getting mad at Zelensky for not doing it. So he's going against the will of the people and then forcing them to get unalived because of it.
Yeah, I do agree with that. If there is some poll saying that Ukrainians would prefer Zelensky to hold an election, I think that should be done. Yeah, I agree. But let's not forget that Mr. Putin has been in power for how many years? I need to Google how many years this guy. He's the most popular politician alongside Kim Jong-un and the other one. So, anyways, I don't have to Google it. Maybe somebody in the chat can tell me.
Yeah, he's been in power a long time. Like I said, they have a different political system over there. I don't know. Whenever I hear about it, from what I hear personally, he's not unpopular in his country.
Yeah,
now, you could make the argument that nobody's allowed to say that they don't like him, but I mean,
that's true.
at the same time, it sounds like he's pretty popular in his country.
Yeah, they die of unknown causes. No, there's a term in Russia. It's called.
But what I'm saying is outside of that, right? Outside of his political opponents, who who knows why they want to take his spot. What would he be unpopular for?
Well, starting a war with a neighboring country for one.
Besides that, let's say.
I mean,
because
I don't really have any guesses. I don't live in Russia. But he's been in power for 25
years. If you're just a regular citizen in Russia and you're just living there, what is he doing that's so bad to you?
Like, I've been in Canada and no political thing. They're not doing anything bad or good. It's like, I don't know what they're doing. They're just doing something.
Canada's a bunch of losers, though. That's why, nothing.
All right.
Yeah, it is. It's true. They don't got nothing going for themselves, so they don't really. Come on. What is Canada? What is Canada known for besides being boring?
So, I'm coming back to Zelensky, when he went to the White House and he started talking to Trump and that whole heated altercation happened, I was like, yes. For the first time, I felt proud of that man. If I was in Ukraine, I'd be proud that he's my president and he supported Ukraine so strongly. Only little women, hey, didn't you say thank you even once being here? It's like, oh my God, that guy needs he needs to go to the barber and trim his beard much more than he already is. Some guy asked him, why aren't you wearing a suit? As if he's got, the guy is in a wartime president. Oh, he needs to be a little buttons up suit. I would think of him I would respect him less if he wore a suit.
Wartime president?
Yes.
Did you know that we had to pay millions and millions of dollars for him to meet celebrities?
What?
Like Sean Penn and like different people went over there to talk with him. You didn't see that? They had a photo op.
Oh, I saw him talking to Tom Cruise for some reason. I don't know why, but why?
Hey, he's meeting with celebrities. What's going on?
Well,
During wartime?
during
That's
war.
crazy.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That is
It's
crazy.
all recently.
But I don't know. Hopefully that stops people losing their lives.
The thing is that the thing is, again, this is not about the suit. This is not about, none of that. This is simply the fact that he's coming over here. And I want you to think about this, right? This conversation that he had, you've never seen anything like that from any world leaders on television, right?
That was great.
Usually what happens is they have an argument in the back room, right? And then they figure it out, and then they come out and they say, oh, yeah, to the cameras. They say, oh, we just had a great conversation. Everything worked out. We're all best friends. Booty, booty. In this case, I'm pretty sure they had a conversation in the back room. But then when he comes out into the public eye, then he wants to cause this spectacle. That's the part that was disrespectful. You don't do that. That's just, people don't do that. You don't see Trump and Putin doing that. You don't see nobody does that. Nobody.
Yeah. Well,
I'm your
spectacle
guy.
or not, I respected him. Today I saw not Donald Trump. I saw Justin Trudeau give his remarks on the tariffs, and he said, "Yeah,
What
Donald
is Trudeau
Trump
doing? I thought didn't he resign?
not yet. I think he's still the prime minister until the next one comes."
Oh.
So he said, and also watching him made me feel proud. Like, yes, this is the first time I'm like, yes, Trudeau, good job, man, good job. He said very important things, and the first thing that I watched is him saying Donald Trump supports Putin, which is a lying, murderous dictator. Absolutely. Way to say it exactly how it is. Like, buddy, what are you doing, Trumpy? And then comes the topic of Elon Musk, which, wow. But anyways, I don't know if we want to jump into Elon Musk.
I do. What did he say? I didn't catch that part. What did he say about Elon Musk?
No, he didn't say anything about
watching
Elon Musk, but
it.
I want to talk about Elon Musk separately.
Oh, you can talk about it.
Yeah. People are now really disliking Elon Musk. His companies are starting to go down, especially Tesla, like 43% in the last couple of months or something like that. And
The entire stock market is going down. It's not just
no,
Tesla.
but his is much more. People are starting to see something. I don't know. I don't really know what to think of this guy because he says so many things that are smart and oh, he's such a smart guy and he's a billionaire with technology. And I just don't feel right about him. Something about this guy. It makes me think of some of the conspiracy theorist people that talk about him, Elon Musk, and what they say about him. So I don't know what to think, but
What's making you feel that way? Because he has SpaceX, Tesla, Neuralink.
yeah,
He has the internet, the satellite
I
internet
don't
company.
know. I don't
Is
know.
it, what is it? He's too successful for you?
No, he could be successful. It's fine. But the little salute that he did, it's like plausible.
Bro,
Okay,
you didn't
maybe.
watch. Okay, be honest. Did you watch the whole video or did you just watch that little clip?
I just watched a little clip.
Okay.
And I was like,
So
oh,
what he was doing at that time, he says, "My heart goes out to you," and he goes like that.
okay. That's plausible. Fine. Maybe is whatever. Okay. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is not true. I admit it. But some of these conspiracy theorists, like, for example, case in point, David Icke. You know David Icke?
Yeah.
Man, that guy is the OG. He had a profound spiritual experience when he was younger. Said he was Jesus on live television. Got ridiculed by everybody. Lost the feeling like he cares about anything, anybody, and he just speaks. What is? Some of the things he says, oh boy, you gotta watch him. And what he says about Mr. Musk is like, whoa. So what they want, this is really stretching a limb, but what these people want is to have an AI-controlled society where the car that you drive is controlled, where you live is controlled, you can't go outside your little radius. It'll basically be like the movie District 9 or In Time or any of these movies that are, the Hummingbird or Catching Fire, whatever this is. So I think Elon Musk is at the tip of the spear for that. I don't get good vibes from him when he speaks. When he spoke,
I think this comes down to one of those things. I think Einstein supposedly said this quote, or at least is attributed to him sometimes, that's supposed to be one of the most important decisions for everyone to make before they leave this earth is, do we live in a I forgot the way he said it, but basically he's like, do we live in an evil world or a good or a benevolent world? Essentially, that was kind of like the idea. And I mean, when you look at anything, right? People can look at Elon Musk, you can look at China, you can look at Russia, you can look at Ukraine, you can look at Zelensky, Trump, whoever it is, AI. No matter what the subject is, you can look at the positive of it or you can look at the negative of it. And I think people are just a little paranoid. Even Trump, I mean, even Elon himself tells you this. He says, look, I don't know what's going to happen with AI. He's like, this thing could literally, he's like, from what I see, he's like, this thing could get out of hand to the point where even though I'm part of the people making it, I don't even know what it's going to do. But basically what he said was that he started it with OpenAI, essentially. Then that company I think they kicked him out or booted him out, or he left. I don't know what it was. But then that company was supposed to be open source, but then they made it closed source and a private company for profit. It was supposed to be a nonprofit. So then what he said was, he's like, look, somebody's going to make this anyway. I'd rather it be me. That's basically what he said. Whether I do it or OpenAI does it or China does it, somebody's going to do it. It's already out the bag.
Yeah. Somebody here in my comments is John Luke Lewis. Hold on, let me just wait for this ad to close. So yeah, one of my subscribers here, John Luke Lewis, is asking, please enlighten us on Elon Musk. 120 re-entered through the atmosphere in 2023. I'm guessing that's the Starlink satellites. So that's good. It's getting burnt up into space, or burnt up by the Earth's thing. Something about Elon Musk is his mother is an avid photography connoisseur of her being photographed with like demonic symbols and her being the devil and horns coming out of her head and all these occult things. And I'm like watching a compilation of this. I'm like, oh my God, what is this lady associated with? And now here's her child, the techno genius, coming in. And what does he have on his profile picture on Twitter? How's the Antichrist? Oh, it's just a joke. It's just a joke. He's a good guy. He's just trying to be funny. No, buddy. Something's off about this guy. The way he is, what he's doing, it's like, gives me bad feelings. Gives me bad vibes. I'll tell you an example, okay? He gave this little speech on the White House. Donald Trump was sitting on his desk. His little kid's running around. He's wearing all black with a black MAGA. And he's like, oh yeah, we're going to fire a bunch of employees and it's going to be really good and really good. I'm like, okay, he's saying good things, I guess. And then after I leave, like a couple of days go by, I just feel that guy's energy, like feeling, oh, what is going on there? That's just not, I don't know. I get a little bad jujubes from him. Maybe I'm wrong, okay? I admit I'm not the foremost expert on feeling things, but at least that's some point of evidence I have to share. And yeah, I lost what I was going to say, but so Elon Musk.
I like how you said that though. You're not the expert on on reading people.
Yeah, yeah, let's not bring up the past, okay?
You have experience. You have a lot of experience with Second Coming Christ.
Let's just
anyway.
No, I want to add one more thing. That the reason why I just heard this today, that he wants to fire a bunch of government employees because he wants to bring in AI to do all that stuff. Oh, that made me feel a little bit scared. Oh God.
Look, at the end of the day, it's going to happen. Like I said, I mean, AI is going to take over, guys. I'm sorry. We are going to have to get to the point where there's going to have to be a basic universal income because there's not going to be jobs anymore. That's the other thing he's doing too. You know, he has robots too, right? Mm-hmm. So he's going to have robots with AI that know exactly what to do. They can do any job that you can do better. So yeah, it's coming. It's happening. But again, we could look at that and think, okay, he's going to do that. He's going to take all our jobs. We're all going to be poor and we're all just going to be unalive. Or you can say maybe he's just going to create a working force army and we'll just be free and living in a utopia. I mean, it's up to you.
You know what I'm thinking as you're explaining this sentence here to me is that from this conspiracy theories that I've heard, this may be the case, okay? That there's a much higher evolved life form on this planet that is farming human beings, like we're farming livestock. And there's some people that are in charge of the herding the animals.
Farming.
Yeah, and Elon Musk is one of them. For what reason? Oh man, that's beyond me. But yeah, maybe he was picked instead of being some super genius guy. I don't know.
I think honestly, for anybody who's out there, it's 50-50, guys. Okay, he's either the evil genius, or he's really gonna bring us into the promised land, essentially, metaphorically.
Yeah, who knows? We will see.
But like I said, if you take him out of the equation, somebody else is gonna do it.
Yeah.
And I'd rather it be him, honestly. At least he lives here in the States. Than it to, I rather. Would you rather China do it?
No, I would not. Definitely not.
Well, all right then, because that's where it's going. So everybody
Yeah.
pray for Musk. He actually went on Joe Rogan the other day, and he was saying, he was like, with the corruption that I'm exposing, he's like, if I keep pushing, they're gonna unalive me at some point.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, that's not good for anybody. But he didn't want to go on the Bill Maher show because Bill Maher he was exposing him too hard. Oh, and also the comedian Bill Burr was making fun of Elon Musk and making fun of him hard. Very funny. And then Bill Burr doesn't even use Twitter, but Bill Burr's Twitter got flagged. So Elon Musk like, hey, come on, censor this guy, ban him because he's making fun of me. This guy, bro, this is a guy. Anyways.
And I think it's a good point to wrap it.
Yeah.
My parents are vacuuming now.
Yeah. All right. That's it, ladies and
for
gentlemen.
watching another episode of Scary Hours Podcast. Shiva, Kailash, Shambho. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
ShivaKailash.com.